Yes, boys, let's go. So, as you can see in this document, we are talking about achieving the 10 out of 10 aesthetic physique whilst also enjoying the foods that you want and increasing testosterone. So, essentially, what we're going to try and focus on in this guide is balancing a smart and sustainable habits, especially when you're training and trying to eat. So, let's get started. The first thing that you need to just know is mindset. So building discipline and a growth mindset. And for you to achieve this, so achieving an aesthetic physique is mainly just a mental game, right? So here's how you can approach it, which is just consistency, nothing more. Just consistency, being consistent in what you do and what you eat. And the first thing you need to realize is progress does not happen overnight. It's about making the small changes and seeing constant improvements, right? So you know how there are people telling you to go on the keto diet or the carnivore diet. Sure, these are all good ways to lose weight, to lose fat, but you need to understand, is it actually sustainable for you? And this is why it's important to track your workouts and your nutrition to actually see if you're progressing or not. And one thing I also made a mistake on was that I was trying to be perfect on everything that I did. So I would try to meticulously eat the certain foods, like the good diet, which is just meat. And I didn't really enjoy it because it wasn't really for me. So just avoid perfectionism instead. But at the same time, don't try and get 1% better every single day. And that's simply because you need to completely form a new identity every single day. That's how you're going to be able to hit your goals and see like progress fast. You see the problem with like 1% every single you see the problem with 1% better every single day is that you might not reach your full potential simply because you're limiting yourself to it's simply because you're limiting yourself to just trying to hit that 1% rather than actually trying to get better than your previous self yesterday was. So, um, a subsection of this would be like delayed gratification, which is like understanding the results come with patience, right? Not all results are never going to be fast. If you get fast results, you're going to get a shit outcome over time. The aesthetic transformation takes months, even years. There's a whole you bulk. If you're skinny, you bulk, and that could take at least a year to put on a good amount of muscle. Now, if you're black like me, black genetics are top tier when it comes to muscle building. So it generally depends on your genetics as well. And one of the things that you need to do when you're in this kind of stage, whether you're fat or you're skinny, is you need to visualize success. Use like vision board or mental imageries, or you can go on Pinterest or Google Images and find a person or an athlete or a celebrity that's quite close to you and try to replicate their physique. You're not gonna get like a perfect one to one, but the idea is that you have this kind of mental image of what you actually want to achieve, what you want to get into. Now let's talk about eat habits. Understanding what works for you. So your diet will dictate the majority of your success. We know this. Diet is like what 80% of how your body will determine what you look like. If you eat a lot of carbs, you will look bloated. That much is true. But at the same time, carbs in and of itself is not a bad thing. And so now you need to realize what diet is perfect for you. So let's start. There are several diets that support muscle growth and fat loss. That much we understand. The right one for you depends on your goals, preferences, and how your body responds to certain foods. I'll get to that in like a minute. So let's explore the three most popular ones. There's the Keto diet, which focuses mainly on animal-based foods like meat and eggs, and this can help with testosterone. And this is due to like, you losing fat really quickly, and you're building a lot of muscle a lot quickly because of the meat contents, the high quality meat contents. but it lacks variety. So you see people like Hamza and Dr. Anthony Shafee following this style of eating. And I was supposed to put a picture here, but I kind of got lazy, so excuse that. And I've had this diet before, and I feel amazing on the carnivore diet. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't feel amazing on the carnivore diet. But like I said here, it kind of lacks variety, and I'm a person who likes to eat a variety of things whilst also trying to keep healthy. So let's move on to the next one, which is the keto diet or the ketogenic diet, which is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet that encourages fat loss and promotes ketosis. And where your body uses fat as energy, right? So with most diets, you have to intermediate fast and then eat at certain times. And even when you're eating carbs, your body is running off of carbs. But with keto, it's running off of fat. So that way you're losing fat way more quickly. And with this diet, you see people like Eddie Abu or Dr. Eric Berg following this style of eating. And again, this is actually a really effective way of losing fat really quickly. But again, it is pretty restrictive. So if you're fine with that, perfect. If you're not, let's go into the diet that I use, the My Diet, which is mainly just a mix between the diet and the keto diet, but it's a lot more relaxed with the carbs you can eat. So it's still relatively low. I would say it's moderate carbs, under 90 grams, but it's still lenient in what you can actually eat, well, carbs wise. So it kind of focuses on fruits, vegetables, nuts, fish, lean and fatty meats, and this kind of balances a healthy lifestyle with the foods you can eat, and it comes with anti-inflammatory benefits simply because I had to do full-on research on the foods I eat. So people like me follow this style of eating. I call it like the warrior diet simply because you're still eating one ingredient foods, but you're not like eating the shitty, processed, hyper processed, sugary foods, sugary drinks, stuff like that. The thing you need to understand is that all diets have one thing in common. Just don't eat shit. Just eat healthy, eat one ingredient foods, and you're perfectly fine. So, as we know, the diet focuses mainly on muscle building and testosterone, and it gets rid of brain fog. Same thing with ketogenic diet, but this mainly focuses on health. It can increase testosterone a lot, and it gets rid of brain fog. And then there's my diet, which I like to call the warrior diet. This mainly focuses on brain and heart health, testosterone, and despite allowing more carbs in this diet, your brain fog levels aren't going to be heavily impacted. There might be a slight increase, but generally speaking, if there is a slight increase, just lower your carbs or remove the carbs that are affecting you. It should be that simple. And at the end of the day, all of these diets have the same thing in common, which is just improve your health, build muscle, increase your testosterone, improve your overall health, like your brain health, your heart health. So now, how to figure out your ideal diet, track your calories and macros, understand how many calories there are in your foods. Obviously, calories aren't everything. If you take a piece of ground beef and then ice cream, obviously you're not going to be like, oh, if ice cream fits my macros, then I'm eating healthy. Clearly, that's not the case, right? And so, one of the best ways to track your calories is MyFitnessPal, and over time you'll like use it less and less simply because you're gonna have a good idea of the calories you're gonna be eating anyways. Especially if you're already eating like one like ingredient foods like meat, chicken, eggs, nuts. These are all like, one ingredient foods that have no processing to them. So there's also the bulking phase and then the cutting phase. There's eating in a caloric surplus, which is around 300 to 500 calories more than your maintenance. This is perfect for muscle growth. This is like if you're skinny or skinny fat and you need to build a lot of muscle. This is a perfect way to do it. But people make the mistake of just eating junk food, dirty bulking, and then they gain a lot of fat and then they kind of have to work even harder to burn off that fat whilst also building that kind of aesthetic or just building any kind of muscle in general, because the food quality they consume is just poor. So we have the cutting phase, which is just eating in a caloric deficit of 3 to 500. So basically the opposite of a calorie surplus, to lose fat whilst preserving muscle. So just again, eating the whole foods, the non-processed, non-sugary, non-fried foods. Just eating one ingredient, healthy foods, meat, chicken, eggs, maybe rice, maybe potatoes. They're all one ingredient, and typically they help you lose weight. So protein is king. Obviously, protein is kind of for building muscle, and it recovers you when sorry, it recovers the muscles. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of for like 8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Though typically some people say that 120 grams to 180 grams is like perfect range, which I also find is kind of true. 120 grams to 180 grams is kind of perfect, like for you to kind of your protein goals. If you're taller, this might like grams. If you're like 6 foot plus, but if you're like 6 foot, 120 grams to 180 grams is like for you. So obviously the ideal sources of protein is like meat, fatty meats, eggs, fish, Greek yogurt. These are all things that are like ingredient, they're healthy, and you know that you're consuming them, you're actually consuming like good, nutritious foods. So fats for hormonal health. So healthy fats are important for testosterone production. We have focusing on fats like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish like salmon or mackerel. These are all like fish like salmon and mackerel. They have like nutrients like zinc. They have what was it, vitamin B12. These are all important for like growth in height or testosterone, and it kind of the body like healthy and like nuts, because like body is absorbing the nutrients from like fatty fish, these these nuts, these avocados. And yeah, now let's move on to carbohydrates, which is like a but like a lot of people nowadays would like to realize like yeah, because it may not be good for you, and like that's true or not, kind of it's not good for you, but it's not bad for you. It's kind of just like yeah, you can use it as a fuel source, just like you can use fats as a fuel source. It just depends on like you use the carbs, right? How your body uses the carbs. So depending on your diet, carbs may vary. For keto, keep them low. Under 50 grams is what Dr. Eric Berg usually like. On the warrior diet, it's a lot more relaxed. So carbs like sweet potatoes, rice, quinoa, bulgur, these are allowed, but you must keep them like, I would say like 90, give or take. If you can get it lower, perfect. If you can't, honestly, you just try and keep it low below. Like this is like it's kind of carbs, but like in a controlled sense, so that your body doesn't like rely on the carbs, which is like one is like I believe. So the core of the aesthetic physique starts with your diet. So in processed foods and sugars, processed foods like chips, candies, fast food, we all know this. These are bad. Um, they're just filled with like bad sugars, artificial additives, and they kind of sabotage your progress. You're gonna be ending up looking like an Oompa Loompa if you like just try and like process foods and sugars. So obviously we want to focus on like nutrient dense foods, meals. Build your meals around like foods like lean meats, fatty meats, eggs, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats, and certain kind of carbs. Obviously we know that healthy fats and cholesterol, they build testosterone. So fats in eggs is a superfood, right? By the way, like the amount of nutrients has, everything that's in an egg is just perfect for you. Muscle building, testosterone, losing weight, perfect. Meat, same thing. Olive oil, and avocado oil, or just avocados in general. They're good for cooking. They're good substitutes for like some of foods, and they kind of big role in your testosterone production. So this is kind of key, vital. ingredient for building testosterone and building muscle. So let's move on. Increasing testosterone naturally. So obviously, testosterone is a key hormone for muscle growth and fat loss and overall well-being, as a man anyway. Um, so here's how you can optimize it. Your main food source should be intaking fats and proteins, mainly fats and proteins. I would say roughly about 45% fats and proteins and about 10% carbs. So for me, this would be like 250 grams of protein, 130 grams of fat, and then like 60 grams of carbs. This is like what you like for me. I calculated it perfectly. Um, Now this will vary on your height. If you're like taller, it might be like, I don't know, 270 or whatever. But in order for you to calculate this, you just need to like I use MyFitnessPal to kind of, but you can use like calorie or whatever. One of those like calorie websites, apps, and then they'll kind of give you an idea of like how much you should be consuming. So now let's move on to like next. So focus on compound lifts, exercises like squats, lifts, bench presses, boost testosterone by a lot. Now this isn't like the way like don't for the trap of like, oh yeah, work out every single day or like do compound lifts every single day. I'm gonna increase my testosterone. These are like crutches help you, but it's not like it's be like, okay, yeah, improve this much, right? Just use these legs as like crutches rather than just like of like, okay, compound lifts every single day, my testosterone will increase every single day. These are just like crutches. The thing I believe is like the important thing, which is getting enough sleep, aiming for like 7 9 hours of sleep, quality sleep, not just any kind of sleep, but quality sleep is kind of crucial for like hormonal and just building testosterone in general. Even in like just muscle as well, especially if you want to lose weight. Um, the quality of your sleep, how long you sleep, will allow you to kind of lose weight quicker, and it kind of is like your muscle building journey. So yeah, just to get as some quality sleep as possible and aim for 7 to 9 hours. Managing stress. So this is kind of hard, especially if you have like a life. But to manage chronic stress, you kind of have to find ways of like releasing signs of energy. So like going to the gym, meditating, praying. Especially if you're Muslim, you should be praying like all the time, speaking to Allah, and kind of letting stress go that way. If you're non-Muslim, then it's like I guess you can like meditate, breathing exercises, or like going to the gym, or like going for walks. Um, any way that can like help lower your stress is going to, you know, it's gonna like help you your cortisol levels and stuff like that. So just manage stress, and you'll kind of your testosterone like negative. So now we have increased. Oh my god, I can't speak today. Include healthy fats, as I mentioned earlier. Like eggs and whatever. They support like healthy production. Now, again, avoid all sugars, drugs, alcohol, processed foods, and carbs that make you feel lethargic. Um, so if there are carbs that are making you feel lethargic, you probably shouldn't be eating them. If there are any kind of foods that are making you feel lethargic, you probably shouldn't be eating them. But like, it's gonna be like processed foods or carbs. And these are like all self-explanatory. You really shouldn't be doing any of these. Um, so as far as supplements for like natural tone boost, vitamin D helps a lot. So deficiency can lead to low testosterone, which is why you kind of like a lot of sunlight exposure, or at least take like supplements. Then there's like zinc, magnesium. These are essential for testosterone boost. They're also in like really important like height as well, like height boost. You can take them as supplements because you're not gonna get like enough just your diet. Like it's like a ton of like eating just to get like, enough. So yeah, just try and get a supplement for zinc and magnesium. And then we have like ashwagandha, the herb that is sent for like lowering and increasing testosterone naturally. So yeah, again, you can't really get this from food, so getting this as a supplement is just better. So my final note is just patience is key. you know, the journey of like you to improve yourself. So if you end up rushing it, you're not gonna appreciate it. You're gonna fall back into the cycle of eating like shit. You're gonna get fat. You're gonna get sloppy. So just take your time with this. You see this as like a long training arc, like in an anime. Like when To's training for Sage Mode, and he's kind of like doing the fucking frog, fucking Kamate thing. We have self-assessment, so like obviously assess yourself with the progress you're making and make tweaks to your diet if needed, or your training if needed, and then a community and accountability. So this is what I usually offer, which is joining a community or like having like a partner, so to kind of like accountable, debated, and pretty soon I will be setting up like fitness. But as of right now, I kind of just do like one personalized coaching. So if you want to click the link below, we can set something up. I will hold you accountable. I will design your workouts. I will help you with like overall when it comes to like your eating habits, everything like that, so that you don't have to like stress, worry about like designing workout plans or what works or what doesn't work or the forms you should be doing in workouts, your workout plans, your eating habits. All of that I will sort out if you kind of want someone coaching go with me. It's free and you know to lose. So see you guys. Peace.